Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Ready Set Replay, the ultimate video game replay podcast. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend Skyler.
Boy, oh boy, did we play a game this time.
This week, we are talking about John Romero's Daikatana. Truly a game of all time. But Skyler, before we suck that down, as it says on the cover of the game,
Yeah,
we gotta jump on into the rewind. Are you ready?
I'm gonna buckle my seatbelt
All right.
and put my drink in the cup holder.
It's time for the rewind.
Whoa!
All right. So the billboard is basically exactly the same as it was last week. Very little has changed in terms of the top songs.
Is Santana still on there?
Of course, he's literally number one. He will never not be number one.
He's been like, it's tired of hearing about this guy.
He is the king of 2000, it turns out. There are some interesting ones that have popped up, including I Try by Macy Gray. You might not recognize it by its name, but it's a very popular song. It's the...
I know Macy Gray. Yeah, sure. She was in Spider-Man.
Was she really?
She's in Yes, like 2 years from now. Because we're in the year 2000. She's like singing a song at the parade that the Green Goblin shows up and terrorizes.
I try to walk away, but that's the song. I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember, I crumble.
Oh.
I try. My world
World
crumble when
crumble
you are
when
not
you're
near.
not
That one,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. All
So
right,
you've
we got
definitely
it.
heard
We
it.
got that.
Yeah.
We know.
I didn't hear any of what you were saying about Spider-Man because I was trying to figure that out. I apologize.
Well,
Also, number 7 is a song, "Everything You Want" by Vertical Horizons. That album also came out semi-recently at the time that we're talking about. This is an album that I don't know if it was actually popular or if it was just one that I have nostalgia for, because I remember specifically my sister Emily had this album because the art immediately like hits the brain. It's one of the... I assume she's in the band, but it's a woman doing like a cartwheel and she's upside down midair.
What's the album
and
called?
it's like orange. Vertical Horizons. The song is "Everything You Want" by Vertical Horizon. So if you look up that album, but it's a very like iconic album cover in my world. I don't know if that is true.
I personally have never seen this before in my life, but I can see how seeing it as a young lad would sear into your brain.
You would remember it. Yeah,
It's a woman who is upside down.
it's a really good album. There's a bunch of songs in it that I think people would recognize. Obviously, "Everything You Want" is a big one. But also "You're a God" is a big one, and "Best I Ever Had" are...
I know this song now that I'm looking it up.
Yeah, it's a
He
very...
says all the right things at
exactly
exactly
the
the
right
right
time.
time. No.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some really big songs in terms of like ones that people recognize that just missed the top 5 because Santana is sitting up there on a throne made of money.
Get out of here, Santana. Get out
Uh,
of here, Carlos.
get out of here. I'm tired of hearing about you. But on the 16th, truly one of the most iconic songs of our time was released. "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears
Ooh,
did drop.
hey, guess what? Hey, Santana, we're coming for you.
Unfortunately, it never breaks the top 5 in the
Damn,
on the
really?
Billboard. Yeah, I know, right? Insane.
That's fuck it. Santana has like a curse on the. He's cast a witch's spell.
He has, in fact, cast a witch's spell. The music video of this is insane. She is an alien on Mars in a red, fully covering red, like tracksuit, basically, or like a leather pleather full body suit. An astronaut finds her, falls in love with her, and then retrieves the heart of the ocean from Titanic and brings it to her. And she's like, "Cool, thanks," and walks away.
That doesn't correlate to the song.
Because of the
Was she because she broke his heart again? She's done it again.
I
She
don't
does
know.
this all the time.
I really don't know. Also, the guy who plays the astronaut looks like a prototype Taylor Lautner. So generally, it got really good reviews and people loved it because, of course, they did. It's an incredibly iconic song. But there was this one guy who I saw when I was researching it on Wikipedia, who I will call out because I don't think he works anymore anyway. David Brown from Entertainment Weekly, who, what a douchebag. He called it, first of all, he called it derivative of Baby One More Time. which is like, all right. All People's music kind of sounds relatively similar, so like I guess I could see that. But then he calls it a jailbait manifesto.
Well, how old was Britney at the time?
18. But she's also fully covered. She's wearing clothing.
Sounds like David doesn't like women.
I feel like you calling a fully clothed 18-year-old jailbait says more about you than her, frankly.
Yeah. I would be inclined to agree.
And also, he can go get bent because his name wasn't even clickable on Wikipedia, so he doesn't
You
matter.
don't even have a link, Dave. Not even a red link where they're like, "There's no article, but he is so." There should be an article, but there isn't. No link, David.
Yeah. And he's talking all that shit about my girl.
Shit, throwing shit at the queen, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
What an absolute douchebag.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see, David.
This song, apparently criminally underrated. It got nominated for a bunch of stuff, but like didn't really win anything. Most notably, I wrote it would go on to lose a Kids' Choice Award nomination to Who Let the Dogs Out by the Baha Men.
Oh, well, come on.
That song
Every
is deeply irritating to me.
Every kids movie trailer of all time for like 10 years.
Snow Dogs, probably.
Yeah, maybe. The fact that you're saying this song never broke the top 5
it's
boggles
upsetting.
my mind.
Yeah.
It's insane because everybody knew this song.
Yeah, absolutely. Some other really big things that came out is the Marshall Mathers LP released.
Nice.
So that is a big deal. I don't want to say it's like necessarily his biggest album, but it's certainly one of them. It's if you know a Eminem song, there's a good shot it's on that one. We also got another, I think, maybe album that only mattered to me as a kid, but there was at least one really big song on it called, so it's 9 Days by the Madding Crowd. And it had that song, where she cried a river around the whole world.
I see.
Sad and photograph. Yeah, that one. Absolutely love her. Wish she smiled. Yeah. It's
sometimes the memories are buried and you just the music brings them out.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like a lot of people just don't know songs by the title.
Yeah, of course.
Especially not by the
album
not
from
title.
This era.
Yeah. So, but we also got Bowling for Soup's Let's Do It for Johnny, which is a great album. And I put this one on there for you. I didn't really have any throwback to it, but I'm sure you did. Motorhead put out We Are Motorhead.
I like Motorhead.
I know you're a Motorhead fan. I famously not a huge Motorhead fan, but
I'll give you the flip side of the coin. I don't like Bowling for Soup.
Really? I love Bowling for Soup. I think they're pretty good.
I don't like them.
I wouldn't put them like top 10, top 20 in like bands of this time, but I think I enjoy them. I think they got good stuff.
I've heard from enough people that I know in real life say that they like Bowling for Soup that I'm willing to accept that it's a hot take from me, but I just find them vexing.
Fair. Well, I'll make you feel better by saying I'm not a huge fan of Motorhead. I did listen to this album, and I think that pretty much all of these songs sound like the same song. It really sounds like they wrote one song and they really liked it, and so they did it 11 more times.
Lemmy was an icon. I don't know what to say.
That's true. That is true. In the world of movies, the box office is also identical to before. It's still Gladiator up there. There's 2 new ones that have broken into the top 5. There's Road Trip from DreamWorks at number 2 and Small Time Crooks at number 4, also by DreamWorks. Everything else we've already talked about. Road Trip is a boner comedy, and Small Time Crooks is people who are gonna rob a bank, but they use a fake cookie company as a cover, and then the fake cookie company ends up becoming really popular, so they just make cookies, which sounds funny, but I didn't watch it.
Road Trip is the end all be all boner comedy. It is the number 1.
Really, more than like American Pie?
American Pie is probably equally as iconic, but I don't know. I just think whenever people think of, maybe it's because so many boner comedies are road trips.
Yeah,
that's the one.
That's a good point. So, I did read the description of it, and it is problematic. They like had a recording of him having sex with a lady and accidentally sent it to her, and so they have to go and get it. That's pretty.
No, it is.
That's not great.
It's dated as shit. I watched it somewhat recently.
All of those movies are. All the boner comedies. You watch them, and it's like, I'm not on this.
There's like sex crimes that happen in boner comedies all the time.
What's the one? It was a more recent, not recent, but more recent than this, obviously, one where the guy, the like nerdy looking round faced guy, is like, for some reason, everyone wants to have sex with him, and there's that joke about the Cleveland Steamer. You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about Sex Drive?
Is that the one where Seth Green is a Hasidic
Yeah,
Jew.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's. I think he's Amish, but yeah, that's Sex Drive.
yeah. I don't know why that one just came to mind. It's just also a road trip movie, I guess. A
Yeah,
couple other things. Battlefield Earth came out, so pretty exciting.
nice. That's not streaming anywhere.
I would have assumed that it was, but
I mean,
I'm
you
not, I
you
guess,
can
surprised that it isn't.
you have to rent it, which I God damn it, I just refuse to do.
Zoe Saldana made her film debut in a ballet movie called Center Stage. I will say this is a more of a film debut than like some of the other ones we've talked about, where they're just in the background. She is a important character with a name, who is on the
Mm.
poster for the movie, so she is of value to the movie. I don't know if she's like the main person, but she is in it. And on the 17th, 16.8 million Americans tuned in to watch the very final episode of Beverly Hills 90210.
Wow, what a time.
Yeah. There is one final thing that I want to talk about. It might take up a little bit of time, but we had E3 this week,
Oh,
the
oh,
Electronics Entertainment Expo. I think in future years, we will maybe do like a bonus episode talking about E3. This is early enough that they haven't really started doing any kind of like big presentations that we could watch and talk about. So there's not
sure.
really a whole lot to do for this year. But there are a couple of interesting things that happened. Namely, this is the sixth E3. It was the
Mhm.
last one to have Sega as a console manufacturer, and it was the first one to have Xbox as a console maker because they showed up to show off the prototype of the original Xbox, which at this point was a garish silver X, like a giant silver X that they had
Jeez.
just jammed
What do
board
we
into.
what do we have? Bloody Elon Musk working here?
I mean,
What are we
hell.
doing?
There were a couple of things that did get announced. Nothing like super huge, I would say. Over at Microsoft, the biggest thing you would think would be Halo, because Halo was being shown, but at this point they didn't own it yet, so it was still being shown by Bungie independently on like a side stage where no one really knew that it existed, because it was being
Mhm.
made first of all in third person, and second of all as a Macintosh game. So people didn't really care about it at this time. They looked at it and they were like, "Oh, okay, interesting," but like didn't really talk about it much. Over at Nintendo, they showed off the Game Boy Advance, which unfortunately had apparently leaked early, so everyone already knew it was going to happen. They also showed off a game called Dino Planet, which would go on to become Star Fox Adventures, the one with the girl.
Oh, oh, okay.
They were showing off Conker's Bad Fur Day, and at E3 for that they had a open bar for the journalists and the retailers, because at this point it's not like a consumer event, it's for retailers to come in and decide how many
Yeah,
copies they want to buy to put on the shelves.
yeah, of
And
course.
apparently that bar was so problematic that it impacted people's ability to work and the quality of their work. There are a bunch of articles written at the time that are just like awful and have a bunch of spelling errors because the people were literally drunk.
That's too funny.
They also were showing off like some really big games over at Nintendo: Majora's Mask, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, Kirby 64, stuff like that. Pokemon Gold and Silver, Hey You Pikachu.
Banjo-Tooie, which we've also already played.
Yeah, Perfect Dark's already
Majora's
played.
Mask, which is coming up.
Coming
Perfect
up.
Dark, which we played. You say Kirby 64.
Yes. So yeah, which were
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of the games that were announced at E3 we're going to be covering for sure.
Getting to them.
Sony was probably the biggest talking point this year. They were still showing off the PS2. It had already released in Japan, but E3 is an American event and had not released in America yet. They had Frankie Muniz walking around like talking it up of all things.
Makes sense.
And the big games that they were talking about were Metal Gear Solid 2, Eco, and Dark Cloud. Some cool stuff coming out of there. But yeah, there unfortunately isn't anything that we can really like. All the videos that I was finding of it were just like, here's some chud walking around the show floor taking random videos of whatever he walked past. Like there's no recordings of the presentations that they were giving. So at least not that I could find, and I looked pretty extensively.
No one knew what E3 was, and now it's gone.
And now it's dead, killed by people who were too stupid to understand its worth.
Killed by Jeff Keighley.
Yeah, what a loser.
Single-handedly.
The Dorito Pope.
Single-handedly put Doritos. He made a bomb out of Doritos, and he blew up E3.
But Skyler, unfortunately, we can delay no longer. It is time to talk about Daikatana.
It's time to become John Romero's bitch.
Yeah, which is, I'm gonna say, he put that as an advertising thing. Like the first advertisement for it was a big red box that said John Romero's about to make you his bitch.
And then he apologized for
That
it.
is so aggressive for the bad game that this ended up being. Spoilers.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
suck it down, all right.
yeah. They say suck it down so much. So much.
You know what's interesting? I didn't get that many suck it downs.
I had Mikiko say that shit constant.
Makiko's the one that liked to say it for me, but
Yeah.
they were too busy yelling at me for accidentally bumping into them
I,
to yell suck it down.
before we get like talking about the game itself, this is definitely one that I feel like I should actually describe what the game is because I feel like
Please
most
do.
people are not going to know what this is.
Please tell
This
tell
is
people.
this is a
Tell them.
first-person shooter being made by John Romero, who is one of the guys responsible for making some really famous ones like Doom and Quake. These are some of the first bigger PC first-person shooters. He spun off from id Software, where he was making those, started his own company called Ion Storm. I should have written it down, but I
Yeah,
didn't.
it's Ion Storm. Isn't it two guys? Two I mean this is John Romero's
This
game.
is John Romero's game, yeah.
But two of the guys from id Software left and made Ion Storm.
Yes. Yeah. They left to make Iron Storm, but this is Romero's game. Yeah.
Maybe the other guy made Deus Ex.
Yeah, which is a better game that we'll get to later.
God, I wish we played Deus Ex.
We'll get to it. But so it's a first-person shooter. You're walking through just basically hallways, sort of solving rudimentary bad puzzles and mostly shooting guys. It is, I guess, sort of themed around like maybe hardcore aesthetic would be how you would describe it. It's very, it is trying to be a very like hardcore, bloody, in your face, like edgy thing, and I feel like it does fail to be that ultimately.
Absolutely, it
like
does.
in any way. But
like describing that what you just said
yeah,
makes me think of that game from like 10, 12 years ago, Bulletstorm, where
yeah,
it's just like, yeah, this is edgy and hardcore. It's cringy. It fails in the sense that it does it to the extent that it's very cringy. This doesn't even reach that at all, I don't think. It's just you're in a first person shooter. I guess people explode into gory bits when you shoot them. That's about the extent of it.
yeah, yeah. So what are your very top level thoughts before we get into the nitty gritty of this? What are your top level thoughts on Daikatana?
I'm glad we played this game.
It was your idea to play it. I would have skipped it.
I'm glad we played this game so that we can take this opportunity to absolutely bury it and talk shit on it. I hated every moment of playing this. But me saying I'm glad we played this is partially like true. Like I'm not lying. We need to establish that baseline of we play the bad stuff too.
Right, for sure.
And this is probably the most famous bad game of this year. It was
Certainly
like,
of this year, yes.
it was voted like it was a massive box office bomb, and I think it was voted by numerous places the worst game of 2000. So, but I will say, I looked up like multiple lists of like here's the worst games ever made, and Daikatana wasn't on any of them.
There's a lot of. I think that this one wouldn't make those lists, not necessarily because it's better than those games, although it probably is.
But that you can technically complete it.
Yes, but also,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just not that big of a game. Like it wasn't very high profile. A lot of people sort of let this one pass them by. So it's probably only
I think so
when people,
too. Yeah.
if you in 2025 as just a normal IGN employee or whatever, were thinking of a list of the worst games of all time, I don't know that you would remember Daikatana existed.
I agree with that. I will say that like looking up this game, you get a lot of people saying like, I think this game is overhated, and I think this game is not as bad as people say it is. And there's like a lot of positive reviews on Steam
Yeah.
that say basically exactly that, which is kind of bonkers because they're entitled to their opinion. But I very much disagree. This game sucks, but
Yeah, it's quite something. I don't know what the sort of like going opinion on this game is, so I couldn't even say if it's like overhated or overrated or whatever. I will say the really my only exposure to this beforehand was the JonTron video that he put out as like one of his earlier ones, and I know he hated it.
Which we did not play the version he played.
No, he played the
Come
N64
to
version,
find
and
out.
we played the PC version, which is
Now,
the PC version is better.
I expected that. I think the PC version is the best version to play because there's also a Game Boy Color version, which is just a Game Boy Color game. So who knows?
I mean, yeah.
I'm not playing that. But yeah, I assumed when hearing about the differences, I was like, oh, the N64 probably has the shitty control layout, and you have to use the controller, which is bad enough, and then whatever. But no, they're completely different level designs. So
Yeah, yes.
it's basically an entirely different game.
I will say, while it is bad, it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. In that I was able to complete it relatively easily. I know that one of the things we're going to be talking about a lot is the level design and how bad it is.
Yeah.
But I didn't really struggle with it too much, to be honest with you.
Like at all, you didn't get lost at all?
I got lost a couple of times, but not bad. Like most of the time, after the first time I got lost, because so what would happen a lot, as you well know, is you would get lost and then you'd be like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to open this door? And then it would turn out, no, there's like a little hole hidden over to the side somewhere where you wouldn't think to look.
Yeah, that you can't see because of the lighting.
Because the lighting is bad, or it's like hidden behind a corner or something. After the first time that happened, I was like, okay, well now I know to just rub my face against everything in this game. And so then once I knew to do that, like I didn't really get lost too much.
I've written down a list of complaints.
Yeah.
List of demands.
Okay. And how many pages is that list?
It's long.
Yeah.
Some of it's just ranting that I'm gonna have to paraphrase. But yeah, the first one is
That's
got
fair.
lost way too often. And there's another point that I've written here that I would like to. Yeah. So what happened to me a lot of times throughout the game? This game is split into 4 different sections. The first section is absolutely the worst.
It's terrible. Yeah. The 4 sections are Japan in the future, ancient Greece, Dark Age, Norway or some shit, and then America in the near future, San Francisco specifically. And I would say the first and the last are the worst. The first one by far the worst, but San Francisco also quite bad. The middle 2, fine, they're whatever. All right.
I agree. The middle 2 were the 2 sections that I kind of breezed through, although the third one, there's like this small plague village gimmick that involves like a certain amount of not backtracking, but going to this section and then going back into the village and then going to this section and going back into the village, which I couldn't make heads or tails of that. I'm directionally challenged on a good day, but you put me in a shitty game where everything looks the same, I'm lost.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. It is not a well telegraphed like what you're supposed to do game. I was terrified. There's I think at least 2 different parts in the game where they task you with collecting multiple things like throughout the entire time period or whatever. Like there's in the Dark Ages whatever section, you have to collect like the pieces of a sword, and I spent that entire section terrified I was gonna like miss it, like just miss a chunk of it and then just not be able to finish the thing. I didn't, and I do think that maybe you can't finish the levels without having grabbed them or something, because I don't know how you would.
You would hope so.
Because you can't. 'Cause I don't know how you would even go back. You'd have to like restart the game.
There's that part in the Alcatraz level near the end, where you have to build that little explosive.
Yeah,
and I had found a helpful little tool on the old internet that was called like Daikatana before you play. And it's just like a big bullet pointed list of like, hey, here's some things you should know.
Right. Although apparently that didn't completely save you.
No, well, we'll get to what it didn't tell me.
Yeah.
But one of the things that it said that I was worried about, because I was like halfway through the level when I like checked it to see if I missed anything. It says like, hey, in the Alcatraz level very early on, there's like a missable quote unquote secret that is actually a thing you need to beat the level. It's that glass bottle that's like stuck in a vent.
I don't know.
It's part of the bomb.
I don't know what that. Oh, is
you just pick up a glass bottle. That is literally it.
Oh,
And
I must have
luckily I
picked
had
that up
found it.
without noticing.
Yeah, exactly. Me
Yeah.
too. I had found it by a happenstance, and I was like,
Okay,
I
neat.
pray that I have everything,
I pray
and
the Lord my soul to
luckily I
keep.
did. Exactly. But yeah, no, talking about getting lost. So often something that would happen,
Hmm.
especially on like the first level, is I'd be following the level progression, then I would get to what appeared to be a dead end. And
Yes.
it's just like, okay, is there a door here? Yeah, it looks like this could be a door. I click it, it doesn't open. What's going on? And then to find out there's a button on the wall that I just couldn't see, like at all. Like it's just hidden on the wall.
Hmm.
Something that vaguely resembles a button.
Yeah, you were saying that when we were talking about it off record a while ago, and I can't remember a time where that happened. I definitely have seen the buttons, and I was like, yeah, those feel missable, but I don't remember that. I don't know what section that would have been at because I feel like all the
Yeah,
buttons that I was pushing weren't like progression.
there were just some doors that needed buttons that I didn't see. And
Yeah,
then there were other doors where now that I know, it's like, okay, some doors you can click to, and some doors you need to find buttons. Some doors you need to kill a guy and
yeah,
then the door will open. That's kind of rare. But then
where you can just
there are
shoot them.
some there are some doors, yeah, there are other doors or vents or things that you can just shoot. Things that do not look shootable, but you just shoot it and it breaks. You personally watched me get stuck on a part exactly like that. But then sometimes this just comes down to the game being shit. Is you go up to a door and you click it and it doesn't open. You're like, okay, well, so what do I need to do to open it? Well, you need to click it, but I guess just click it better than you did the first time.
Yeah,
Sometimes I would click a door and it just wouldn't open.
the the boxes like hit boxes or whatever on a lot of that stuff was really annoying. Where you would walk up to see some things like that and you would right click to do it and it just wouldn't happen. And that was also true. Another thing I know you had issues with when you were like pointing at things to make your companions do it is that's also
Mhm.
true for that where like it can be tricky to get them to actually like go up to the healing fountains and like get health from them was one that I
Will they
struggled
even
with a little
use the
bit.
healing? But they never use the healing fountains
Yeah,
for
they'll
me.
use them. Yeah, for sure.
Oh nope, not for me. They didn't.
Yeah, it's a little it's a little finicky. I didn't have too much trouble with it, but I definitely saw it a couple of times where it was like you'd like point at it and hit G to like, hey, go get that, and then just
You know,
they'd be like, what?
you know what? Now seems like a good time to say
Yeah,
that we both played the 1.2 version,
sure, yeah,
the version that is on Steam. There is another version, a fan made version. So the story behind this is someone was like, I want to fix Daikatana. So he like DM'd John Romero and asked for the source code. And to his credit, John Romero gave this guy the source code to his game. Not like he was using it, I guess.
true.
And then this guy just went through and just made a better patched version of Daikatana. It's still Daikatana, so you're really polishing a turd, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
But there, most notably, he made the two AI companions for which this game was supposed to be famous for. It made them not suck shit. So I think I would have had a much more fun time, not a fun time, but a more fun time
Yeah.
playing this game if I had played the 1.3 patch, which I kind of just refused to download on principle.
Well, it's not an official thing, so it would be
No,
disingenuous for that to be the version that we
that is
reviewed.
true. That is
Yeah.
true. But that's another thing. Like everyone who defends this game is like, well, you gotta have the 1.3. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
truer to John Romero's vision. Well, he had some time to make it himself, didn't he?
can I tell you something that might irritate you?
Please.
So we were talking about that. We went to go get some Whataburger. You were telling me about how much you were getting dicked down by the two companions, our hero
Suck it down.
Superfly and Mikiko.
Yeah.
And I intentionally didn't mention to you at that time. I had no problem with them at any point in the game. The entire I don't know what like God I prayed to or whatever. The entire game, I there was only like a couple of instances where I would get to the end of a level and it'd be like, well, I can't go on without my friend Superfly, and then I turn around, he'd be coming around the corner instead of being right behind me already. But otherwise, like I never had any trouble with them.
So I think you had a disingenuous
I look, I'm just saying
time with this
they were
game.
just
I
with
don't
me.
know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but um, Superfly and Makiko would get stuck on walls. They'd get stuck on ladders. They would just walk off ledges to their deaths. They would stand in front of. They wouldn't pick up weapons. So this is why I think they weren't yelling "suck it down" because I think they yell that when they attack.
When they're shooting, yeah.
But they don't have. My guys didn't have guns. The entire Alcatraz part, the entire like fourth part, they weren't holding weapons at all.
Well, you have to tell them to pick them up.
They just walked around. Well, I would. So there's that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow I just like never really had any problems with them. Like Makiko was annoying because her character's an asshole. But yeah, Superfly I like had no problems with at all. I was just like, yeah, he's just a character. He's over there. He's like mildly racist stereotype, but otherwise.
So I started to first hate Superfly.
Right, which I think is wild.
When he would stand in my way in a hallway that I needed to go down, and he wouldn't move, and then when you get a foot away from him, he yells at you, "You could have just asked me to move. You could have just asked me to move."
Well, I mean,
you could have just asked me to move. And then I go to the other side of the room. Shut your fucking mouth, Daniel. Then I go to the other side of the room.
Yeah.
And I hit the F, the come here command. He's like, "Chill, dude, I'm coming."
Yeah.
And then he doesn't move.
Yeah.
So, there's that. You can't give commands to both of them at the same time. You have to switch one at a time by pressing the P key.
Yeah.
I hated they were the worst. They were the worst thing ever, these companions.
I mean, really my only problem with them, I think Makiko's very weak narratively, but also they were just like no help at all in fights at any point.
Well, you're telling me.
Well, yeah, yours didn't have guns for some reason, but even with guns, they're like not that useful. Granted, I was intentionally not giving them strong guns. I was only giving them like in Alcatraz, I only gave them the pistols. Oh, I think Superfly found a shotgun at some point and just picked that up without me telling him to.
There was it really became this in the second half of the game that they were just like ball and chain that I had to drag.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I ended up just being like, all right, wait here. And then I would go clear whatever. And then I'd be like, I don't have to go this way, do I? I don't have to, God forbid I have to get them on this elevator, which at one point I did have to get Makiko on an elevator that wouldn't stop on the floor she was on. So I had to like reload saves and finagle and yell at her to come this way at just the right time and pray she clipped on, and she did finally. I don't think I would have beaten the game.
I don't know what elevator you're talking about. Which one?
It's in the last part. I don't care to explain or remember, but I promise you it happened.
Is it the when you're like in the Mishima base at the end, the like little disc one that moves around?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
Like goes down and then comes back up, but I couldn't find a way to make it stop on the right floor.
Maybe.
But it didn't matter because I finagled it and I got her where she needed to go so I could beat the level.
Yeah. I do want to drive back to the getting lost thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is that something that people at the time would have just been used to? Because I feel like this has been a complaint that we've had with multiple games from this year already. Is that like signposting of what to do was bad. Like even Perfect Dark that we liked, it was tough to know what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. Yes, Perfect Dark, that would probably be what dragged it down most for me, was just dark corridor hallways that kind of just web out and you have to find out where to go. But at least that game was fun to control and play.
True. So
did we complete? Oh yeah, I complained a little bit about getting lost in Medieval 2, right? Especially like that one town map.
Right. Yeah.
With the bobbies chasing you, but I feel like nothing really got as bad as the time I had here. I don't know. Maybe. The credits show the fuckers who play tested this, so we should ask them what their problem is.
They're dead. They didn't survive.
Okay, good.
But also, I would say Siphon Filter had that problem as well.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So, of the games that we played from this year, a decent chunk of them, I think, were not great
let me tell you,
the player.
I'm really sick of dark corridors.
Yeah,
really sick.
We're gonna get some more of them, unfortunately. But yeah, me too. Yeah, this one at a couple of points did have the issue of like, I'm just gonna turn the brightness up because I don't know where I'm looking.
I didn't turn the brightness up. I should have. I'll tell you what I did do. A lot of people that I looked videos up of reviews of this game A lot
Yeah.
of people hate the sound design.
The sound design's bad. Yeah. I knew
Yeah.
that from second one when the opening cutscene starts, and it's approximately 45 hours long. And
Yeah.
you're talking to a guy and walking through a town,
Yeah.
and it takes forever and it goes nowhere, and there's lightning in the background that is so much louder than anything
Yeah.
else in the mix for some reason. Every time it goes off,
Mhm.
it's like genuinely jarring, but you can't really turn it down, because if you do, then you can't really hear what the people are saying, and then you don't know what the plot of the game is, and
Mhm.
it's like, why are we
Mhm.
doing this? What's going on? How do we do this?
I'm glad that you've said the things you've said, because not only will it help illustrate my point, but it'll segue us into another point that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't personally have any complaints about the sound design to go off here, because I turned the volume all the fucking way down.
Okay.
I I booted up the game, and it was the loudest thing ever, and it wouldn't let me fuck around with the volume, like my volume mixer, because like I didn't have it windowed yet, and I'm like, no, went straight into the settings, and I think I cranked like dialogue and VFX to 1, and I had no VFX and music to 1, dialogue to 2. And
Okay.
then when I finally windowed the thing, I went to my sound mixer and made it even lower. I wasn't listening to this game at all.
Yeah.
So I want you to take over the complaints. Go off more.
Um, I mean, that's pretty much it. Once I went in and adjusted it, like, it wasn't bad. That first cutscene had really bad sound mixing, and then after that, it was like kind of whatever. After you adjust it, because I do think that they made it so that the music is like way too loud, because the music's not great. It's fine, I guess,
No.
but it's not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely need to turn up the dialogue, because that's like how you find your way around. I feel like most of the time is you'll walk into an area and Mikiko or Superfly will be like, "Hey, we should touch that thing over there.
Mm.
What's that about?" And then, like, they basically tell you exactly what to do in most situations.
I did notice that a couple times. I wouldn't say most situations.
Every time, pretty much every time that I walked into a room, was like, "What the fuck am I supposed to do here?" Superfly Johnson, American hero Superfly Johnson, God rest his soul, would be like, "Hey, you should shoot that." I'd be like, "All right."
That
To the point where actually it
yeah,
was a
so
little bit annoying, because it was almost the like God of War 2018 thing, where you walk into a room and before you can even see that there's a puzzle, Atreus is telling you what the answer is. It almost got to that level.
if what you're saying is my difficulty to find myself around is my fault because I wasn't listening to the companions,
Oh, that's not what I
well,
was saying intentionally, but maybe.
that sounds like a different aspect of bad game design.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it definitely should have better signposting. They don't do a good job of like showing you
They
it.
don't really tell you anything.
You shouldn't be able, or you shouldn't have to rely on a character telling you what to do to know what to do it.
Yeah.
There should be some kind of like an objective, not objective marker necessarily, but like at least a thing that tells you what the fuck you're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
Because another thing I want to talk about is like the plot of this game is so nebulous and weird that it can be really hard to know why you're doing any of the things you're doing.
I didn't know anything I was doing at any point. I
Yeah,
gave up on the story basically after the first 7,000 hour long cutscene, which really was only 10 minutes, but it was a painful 10
it
minutes.
was a very long. Yeah, it was a very bad
So
first impression. That I
so
mean, the
really
whole Kyoto was
the only
awful.
the only cutscenes that I actually watched was when I beat the game. That's really it. I
Oh,
skipped
okay.
everything else.
Okay. Well, so maybe also a little bit of why you were so lost and confused, because a lot of those cutscenes do tell you what to do.
I mean, they might tell you like storyline wise what to do. We have to get the pieces of the sword, but I know going in, like I need to just find the room that has the thing and then keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you can clear. I mean, clearly you finished the game, so like you can still, get through it. But
Yeah, I don't think me watching cutscenes would have helped me with stupid doors that I didn't know couldn't open unless whatever. But then, you know what? I want to segue into something else. Why do doors close after being open for 4 seconds?
yeah, there's a couple of them that do that, and I don't really know what the situation with that is. At first I was like really annoyed by it, because I was like, oh, this must be what people are talking about. This is why Superfly and Makiko can't keep up, because I was like, they must get stuck behind these doors and not be able to open them. But no, they're fucking slamming those doors open left, right, and center. They were opening doors I didn't even
They
want them to.
they can open the doors. I think there's a point in like how far away you are from your companions.
Yeah.
Because like when they're with you, you can see their health bars and their armor bars in the
Yeah, which can we
corners.
talk about? I
Yeah.
don't know why they even bother having the fucking health bars, because like I think I only ever had them die like once, and it was because a huge fucking explosion went off. Like I don't like they don't help in combat, and it seems like they can take just a fuckload of damage before they die. So I don't know why they even bother. Like why? What's the point?
Mm-hmm.
And in the first two sections, it's like impossible to fucking die in this game unless it's like a one hit kill, because in the first two sections, there's those constant fucking like stations you can walk up to and just heal entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're leveling up, and every time you level up, you're like adding 50 to your health, which is a lot. I mean, granted, I was playing on baby mode, so it's like, I could have played on the harder difficulty if I
wasn't willing to commit more difficulty.
No, yeah, I mean, I was walking into this game knowing that like the conversation around it is that this game sucks ass, and it does. But so I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to play a game that sucks ass on a hard difficulty and just put my balls in a mousetrap. Like I'm not about to do that. But yeah, I don't know why they bother with it.
So I'll tell you why they bother with it. Well, first of all, 1.3 patch apparently makes your companions invincible.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they kind of already are, but yeah.
So you don't have to worry about what I'm literally about to tell you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would go through a door, and then the companion would just stand there behind the door, and then a rat would walk up, and then fly would explode.
From a rat?
Uh-huh.
Why didn't you just kill the rat?
Why didn't he just kill the rat?
Yeah, I mean, they can, even without guns, they can still punch shit.
He didn't.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Before my guys picked up guns, that was the only time that I was ever like at risk with them, is because until you give them guns, Superfly will just like run up and start punching dudes, and you're like, Superfly, you can't be doing that.
He did do that. He did do that in the first level. By halfway through the game, he stopped doing that.
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, they stopped doing it for me too, but it was because they had guns. Which it seems like they don't have to worry about ammo, which is nice. Because I never had a situation where like they just stopped firing. So I guess that's good.
I don't know. I assumed that they do have to worry about ammo because why else would you not have the gun? Like at one point he had a gun and then he didn't have a gun. And I'm not just talking about jumping between worlds where you lose all your guns and have to collect the world appropriate guns.
Right, sure.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I at least never noticed them losing guns that they had. A couple of times they would pick up guns that I didn't want them to have, and that became annoying. Because one of the things that I also want to talk about is the different guns and how most of them are dog shit and will kill you as well as your enemies.
That's a thing.
The thing that did the most damage to me in this game was me.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt. Because so I've got a list of the weapons here. In the first section, you've got the ion blaster, which is the one that shoots little green energy balls, and it's one I was using pretty much the whole time because all the other ones are terrible. But even that one, the shot bounces, and it can and will bounce back and hit you.
Mm-hmm. Or Superfly,
yeah. And then I actually ended up missing. There's a rocket launcher called the Sidewinder that I missed for like a long time, and then in the end of that section, I picked one up, and I was like, I should have been using this. This is way better. But there's another weapon called the Shockwave that shoots out a ball that it bounces, and every time it does, it sends out a shockwave, and it kills the whole room. And the problem is that includes you. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, I don't know why they should just not. There should have been they shouldn't have put friendly fire on. There's no reason that it needs to exist.
Yeah, I never once used that one, and I don't remember if that's because I just didn't bother using a different gun.
It's like right at the end too. So yeah.
Maybe it's meant to fight the stupid little boss dog things that show up in the Daikatana room.
Maybe.
Climb up, climb up that ladder and then shoot down. But I
don't know that would work, because the one time that I used it and it killed me, it did land on a lower level and it still killed me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that sounds like a good gun.
Yeah, it's a bad gun. And then in the Greek level, there's the like venom shooter snakehead thing that leaves like little poison.
Never once
things.
even bothered using that.
There's the one that pisses me off the most of all guns or all weapons in the entire game is the Hades hammer from the Greek section. Did you use it?
I also never used that one. No.
So you get the Hades hammer. And
I did get it, and I was just like, I'm not using
it. The gimmick is that you can charge it up and then do like a big strike. The big strike does a shockwave.
Just like in Medieval 2.
Just like in Medieval 2. But the big shockwave hits you, but it's a melee weapon, so you're never going to avoid it, and it's a one-hit kill. So if you ever fully charge the Hades hammer, you just die.
Suck it down.
The choice of that is insane. I didn't have pretty much any trouble with the ones in the Dark Ages section. I think most of those weapons were like fine. They were whatever.
No, it's
Or maybe
just
I was just used
rocking.
to it at that point.
I think those might be the best weapons because those are the ones that I was switching through multiple weapons the entire time. The first section I just used what is it called? The photon thing, the
The
green ball
Ion
thing.
Blaster.
Yeah, Ion Blaster
Not that it matters,
in
but yeah.
Iron Storm game. I basically never used anything else there.
Mm-hmm.
In the Grease one, I used the disc of
Daedalus.
Daedalus or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The Disc of
And
Daddy.
then I used the trident sometimes.
Right. And then the Eye of
Uh,
Zeus on
and you
Medusa.
have to use the Eye of Zeus on the boss fight,
That's the
which
worst boss fight in
was
the game. We'll talk about that in a second, but we'll come back to that. Yeah. Finish what you were
I
saying about the weapons.
I disagree. I have one that I think is worse.
Okay. We'll come back
Um,
to the bosses after we talk about the weapons, but yeah.
yes, please. And then yeah, the medieval ones, like so you got your little crossbow, then you got your big ballista, then you got what else was there? You get a wizard staff at one point.
You get 3 wizard staffs, yeah.
Get 3 wizard. I only used the fire one.
You get
I didn't.
you get the fire one, the electric one, and then the zombie one. But I never use the zombie one, so I don't know what it does. I thought the lightning one was actually kind of the best one because it just puts a ball out there that just constant damage for seemingly forever.
Other than finding my way around the village, like getting lost a couple times, I think the medieval part was the easiest part of the game.
I would
Oh, with
agree.
one exception that we will talk about when we get to boss fights.
Okay, yeah.
I've already complained to you about this in person, but
No worries. And then in the for me in every way, the chapter 4, whatever you want to call it, episode 4 is disappointing. Because you're time traveling, and so you go to ancient Greece, and then the last one is we're just gonna go to San Francisco, like modern-ish day San Francisco, and all the guns are for the most part just normal guns.
they're just guns.
You just start with it, like you get a pistol and a shotgun. And you get some more interesting stuff later, I guess, but you're not going to use most of those because they fucking suck ass. But
Mhm.
I thought it was just a really disappointing 4th episode to be like, hey, I know we just did all this cool shit of time traveling, but what if we went to your grandma's house for Christmas? And you're like, all right.
Yeah, it's all right. I've been there before.
But yeah, let's talk about the boss fights since we were already sort of on that topic. I am of the impression that the Medusa boss fight is easily the worst one. Because she has a one-hit kill that is her entire moveset.
Yeah, she can one hit kill you, and you need to avoid that until you can basically one hit kill her.
Right.
It's lame. It's stupid.
But because it's if she sees you, you die. It's insane. I ended up killing her from outside of the room because every time I even stepped into the door to enter the room, I died.
I ran in the first time and got turned into stone, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I ran in the second time. I think maybe it took me like on my 3rd try. I just sprinted behind a pillar, like down by where she was. And then she kind of just like snaked her way over to me, and I Zeused her, and it was over. So I got.
That's nice. I think I died to her like 3 times. So, but yeah, she's annoying.
Yeah. So that's the Medusa is the final boss of the second world. The final boss of the first world is, as mentioned, two. I don't even know what the fuck they are. They're like 2 dog things with What are they?
I couldn't tell you. Yeah, they're just like
Okay,
weird mutant dogs.
they're 2 things that show up and
Actually, I have the guide here. I guess I can look up what they're called while you talk about whichever one you thought was the worst one.
annoy the shit out of you and tell you. You just have to like jump up on the right spot and use the. I ended up finally using like the little proximity mine launcher thing. Now, you have to be careful with that because sometimes if you're too close to a wall, it'll just stick on the wall's hitbox, which sticks out like 5 inches past what the wall is supposed to be,
Sure.
and then blow up in your face and kill you. But if you hit just the right spot and just like arc mines into the air, they'll land and hit something. So that's basically what I ended up doing there. And then in the medieval place, you fight a bunch of wizards, and then you fight the king.
Hold on, real fast. Those dog things are called Cyclaws, and they are supposed to be brains with lion legs.
Great.
So they're intellect devourers, but bigger,
Cool.
basically. There you go.
Let us not knowing what that is speak to the art direction and the quality of the character models.
Yeah, I
in
would
this
not have known
game.
that that was supposed to be a brain. I mean, there are brains in that room. There's the ones that are like floating in the tank. Those were clearly
Yeah,
brains, but these, yeah,
but
I wouldn't have.
I really only knew those were brains because they were floating in tanks.
Yeah, I mean, they've got like the whole brain stem and everything. Like, there's really only one thing they could have been, you know?
Um, so yeah, you fight three wizards, and then you fight the king. Uh, Two out of the three wizards were not a problem at all.
Yeah, when we talked about
The
it, you seem to have like not even clocked the existence of the third one.
Yeah, I think I killed the third one
Yeah.
without even realizing, and then the king wasn't even a boss fight for me either. I just like blasted a couple times with the staff, and he fell over, and it was over.
I did die to him the first time because I wasn't sure that I was supposed to kill him. I thought maybe there was something I was supposed to do to
Ah,
like turn him good because you do that. But then I was
see,
like, well,
well,
screw it, and then I blasted him.
don't you just turn him good by killing him? Like he's
Pretty
good in the
much,
cutscene
yeah.
afterward.
I just because he spends like 5 minutes at the beginning of the fight standing by his throne and talking shit. So I just put a bunch of those lightning orbs around him, and he just died in like a second. So
hmm
yeah,
The That's a benefit of not listening to the cutscenes. I just opened fire on him, and he died.
it was fair.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, one of the wizards, the one with the lightning,
His
he
name
was a
is
problem for me. That I had to fight
Windrax.
him like 6 or 7, maybe 8 times.
Yeah,
And here's why. I will tell you people at home because I've already told Daniel in
true.
detail of how awful this was. So the way this fight, I guess, is supposed to go is you're supposed to jump down there and square up to him because he's a little nerdy wizard. And he's supposed to go, oh no, and cast some lightning thing to chase you around and then book it for a secret exit to run outside. I think that's what's supposed to happen.
So I actually have a thing here because I was now I'm just looking at the list of the creatures or the bosses or whatever from the Daikatana official strategy guide.
Oh,
Uh,
fantastic.
it says blah 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 blah. When you reduced Windrax's health by half, he releases 3 wisps and runs outside. There you'll find him
Yeah.
collecting wisps from the trees to replenish his lightning powers. So that's what he's supposed to be
Oh,
doing.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
So sometimes you would jump down there and he wouldn't go outside. Instead, he would run to the next room and try to go up some stairs, but he can't do it. He
Hmm.
just simply cannot accomplish it. He gets stuck on the stairs, and I was like, at first, I was like, oh, bet. He's stuck on the stairs. Time to just unload onto him. But
Yeah.
he's also apparently completely invulnerable to damage while he's inside or stuck or
I
he has to
think
go outside to be killed. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think once he hits that halfway point, he becomes invincible until he goes outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it happened like 3, 4 times where he would run to the stairs and just get stuck, and then I'd have to reload the save. Basically, I've lost here. Or my favorite part is I would get him to go the right way. I would get him to go down through the secret passageway, run outside. I'm like, all right, we got him, we got him, we got him. He would just run over to whatever wisp tree he was doing, and then, as far as I could tell, he would cast the "I crash your game" spell.
Yeah. That
He
also
would
happened
wave
to me.
his little stick, and the game would just close.
It's the ultimate move.
He did that 3 times.
Yeah. I think I also had it crash a couple of times. I don't remember the number. So that was definitely annoying. I didn't think the boss fight itself was too bad. It was the crashing that made it a problem.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
There was never any actual boss fight that I was like, oh man, this is hard. I can't beat this. Until I was like, oh, I literally don't know if I can beat this.
Yeah. Yeah. What I ended up finding was that if you chase him straight out there, like if you're following him when he gets out there, you're like on his ass, then it crashed
Yeah.
immediately. So what ended up working for me is I just like waited a couple seconds before I chased him.
Dude, that's ironic because for me it was the opposite.
Oh, okay. Well,
If I lagged behind him too far, he would get to his spot and he would crash the game for me. And the way I finally beat him was I gave no quarter and I stuck my little fire rod right up his ass and just kept blowing away at him until he just fell over. And I was like, thank God.
yeah. Okay. So we should probably talk briefly about the story, although it seems like you skipped most of it, so you probably don't know.
I would like you to fill me in. But first, can I
Yeah.
complain about the secrets?
No.
Every level has like 8 or 10 secrets.
I didn't bother with them.
And well, let me tell you,
Yeah.
they were never worth it.
No, yeah. A lot of the time when I would find him, it would be like, you get maxed out acrobatics for 30 seconds. I'd be like, great, I don't
Yeah.
care.
By the time that you max, even if you max out something helpful like your damage output or your health or something, by the time you ran into more enemies, it's gone. It already wore off.
Yeah.
Or various mana skull. The only time a secret was ever worth it was if it was armor.
Yeah, those ones are pretty good. And the big armors would give your guys armors too, which is nice.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us about the story.
It's not great. It's basically like, I mean, it's a lot of bullshit up front. Is honestly what it is. Is they lay out this whole backstory of like, oh, you're the ancestor of this guy, and blah 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 blah, and it's like it goes on for fucking ever, and it's not important. But it basically comes down to there's this samurai who's a douchebag, and he's like used a sword that allows him to time travel to take over the world, and so then you have to go and get the sword because only you know how to use it because your like ancestors somehow taught you how to use it. Even though you'd never had it. So you have to go and get it from him, and then he banishes you through time to like try and keep you away from him. And then, okay. A guy at the beginning tasks you with finding his daughter, Mikiko. You accidentally find Superfly Johnson, who becomes your other companion, on the way. You rescue her, and then you do a bunch of, honestly, wheel spinning, where it's like, oh, in the Greek section, there's not really a specific story for the Greek section. It's just like, I am stuck here now, and I have to find a way to get back to the next time period. Which is, and then you find out that like, oh, you have to charge your sword with magic, and so you charge it with Medusa's blood or whatever. And then you go to the medieval times, and it's a whole thing of like, where am I going to find magic in medieval times? Oh, it's a magic sword. I'll take it from not Excalibur or whatever. But then you get to the future, and like, out of nowhere, the ending is that Mikiko like heel turns on you after you kill Mishima, the Kage Mishima, the samurai guy who sucks ass. She like heel turns on you and kills Superfly for seemingly no fucking reason. Like it's not really hinted at other than she's a bitch. And then the resolution to it is not like, oh, you fight her and kill her or whatever. Is you somehow like reset the timeline to a time period where you never met them.
Well, you do fight her and kill her.
But that's not the resolution.
That is the worst boss fight of the game.
Oh, I shot her like twice and she died.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
She as you're mentioning, she heel turns with maybe 4 seconds of actual gameplay left in the game.
Yeah.
And that is taking the time to aim at her, pull the trigger once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
And she's dead. And then you go right back to the cutscene of, oh no, it didn't need to be this way.
Yeah.
That is a laughable ending. I stood
really
up and
bad.
applauded.
That boss fight is so lame. And then honestly, the Kage Mishima fight is also pretty lame because it's the same thing. Is you shoot him like 7 times and he dies. It's a little harder, but it's nothing.
That's at least a boss fight. He like summons ghosts to chase you.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thing. By the way, there's apparently a thing where he says like, if my Daikatana touches your Daikatana, then we'll get sucked into oblivion and the world will be over. But then the game wants you to fight him anyways.
Yeah, I just didn't fight him with the Daikatana. I just
no, I didn't either because it's not
unless you
charge it up, which is stupid. How you charge it up throughout the game.
Pointless.
It is a dog shit weapon and is not viable in anything.
Yeah.
So don't use it. But like what the game wants you to do, presumably, is to have it fully charged going into the final level and then duel with him with this sword. It was so it's like to even the cutscene. Like I said, I went back and watched the final cutscenes. Hero's like, didn't you say that if the Daikatana is touched? He's like, shut up and fight me, nerd.
He's
fight me anyways.
He's basically like, well, if you're gonna kill me, I don't care if everyone else dies too, you know. And it's like, okay, like all right, I guess.
But then it didn't happen. So.
It didn't happen, but yeah, I don't know. But I just think it's weird that the ending is that you like reset to a new timeline where none of your friends know who you are, but also now Superfly is working for Mikiko, who killed him in a different timeline. It's like, but that doesn't feel right. That like we know this lady's an asshole and terrible. Maybe not in this timeline, but we have no reason to think that she's better.
Well,
And
it's
now
okay
he
because
works for her. Like, that sucks, dude.
no, it's okay because Hiro stole the Mona Lisa.
He did steal the Mona Lisa and put it in a base under put it put it in his house. Yeah, and then he's just like living the nomad life, and he's got the Daikatana buried in a cave under his house, and that's the resolution is like the Daikatana will sleep for 1,000 years under my house or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so the narrative is just like completely pointless, which is I don't think anyone gave a shit. Like, this is not a game that people would go to for story. It seems like pretty much none of the games that we've played in the year 2000 were that. I don't think people were thinking of games as a place where stories could exist yet. So like, I sure,
Yeah, I
but
guess.
this one in particular, the ending is just like, what's the fucking point? Like, why is this what we've done? And then the only other thing I have on here on my notes that I specifically wanted to talk about
Mm-hmm.
is the weird ass messages you get when you try to quit the game.
Oh yeah, it starts negging you.
Yeah. So this is a game where I would play it for like a couple hours and I'd go to bed because I would play it like after work, right? And I would come home, I would work out or do whatever, and I would play like 5 6 levels and go to bed. And so
5 or 6 levels. I could only muster like 3 at a time.
I feel like I could have beaten this game in 2 sittings if I like really tried, but I just couldn't be fucked. Every time you go to I wrote down some of them. It's so
Yeah,
okay.
please.
There's of course suck it down, and then they put the trademark logo after it because I don't.
Yeah, there's some money to be made there.
There's one that says, "You thought you were a big boy, but you're really just a baby boy, aren't you?" And then there's, "Hey, watch out for the Dark Troopers in the San Francisco episode, okay?" And I don't know who the fuck I don't think that's real. I played those episodes, don't know who the Dark Troopers would have been.
Like talking about the prisoners who were all black guys for some reason.
Because of profiling.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
One would say, "While you're gone, I'm gonna keep working on the Grand Unified Theory, okay?"
Got that one a couple times. Yeah.
What the fuck? Why? And then get out of me.
I never caught that one.
The weirdest one was one that says, "You're not much of a Kraken, are you?" And the reason why that's so weird is because that's not a thing people say, but also,
One
unbeknownst
of the
to
guys.
yeah, one of the production guys you find out in the credits, his nickname is Kraken. But like, how the fuck? That
Right.
means nothing. That's nothing to your player base. No one knows what the
Also,
fuck that is.
not just his nickname, but like that nickname was in place of where his studio role should have been. So as
Yes,
far as we know, it's just some smelly guy that called himself the Kraken that would show up every day and not do anything.
definitely a sweaty guy. I have a little bit of trivia. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about
No, I hate
in
this. Let's go.
particular? Yeah. So in the San Francisco levels, or actually no, in the Dark Ages levels, the medieval times ones, every single level that you get to has one lowercase letter in its title.
Okay.
And me being me, I was like, oh, that's gonna be something. Nope.
Hmm.
I typed it out. It spells Aguyor, Aguyor, and I was like, is this gonna end with like, is this a password that you put in something? Is this like a secret? I looked it up, couldn't find any trivia about it. I don't know why they did this.
So the trivia is that there should be trivia here, but they didn't do anything.
The trivia is that I wasted
Tell
my
me what they
time.
did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently there was a PlayStation version of this game in the works, and it got canceled during development because they already could barely get this one out the door. This game was like 3 years later than they wanted it to be.
Yeah, that was a thing. John Romero, the demigod of first person shooters as he is, said, "I'm gonna get this game done in 7 months," and it took him 3 years because famously they had so much development trouble with this. There was like,
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
is this your trivia? Am I stepping on your cape here?
no, not really. I didn't even write it down, but if you, yeah, I mean, if you've got it, go for it. I mean, I
Uh,
know the details of it
it,
if you're like sort of
it's
guessing
it's
around it.
it's just off the top of my head, but it
Yeah.
was like they lost a bunch of people. Like people quit. I think like at one point 10 people quit at the same time.
Yeah, they quit because John Romero's an asshole and he's a shit to work with.
Oh, put that in the trivia section. Um, and they were working off of the Quake engine, but then they decided to switch to the Quake 2 engine.
They
So
decided to switch to the Quake 2 engine
they
because,
threw out everything that they had done before.
yes, John Romero chose to do that, not because the original game wouldn't have worked in the first thing, but because he didn't want his former company to have a perceived more modern game than the one he was putting out. And so he threw out a year of work and told them to restart. And that's why all those people quit, because he's a dumbass. And it's also probably why the game is so poorly made, because they were rushing through it with new people and just like slapped that shit together in the last second.
Very nice.
Because he was just like, we have to have a better engine. And you look at this game and it's like, is this really
Was it worth it?
Well, I don't know what the old engine was, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is not in any way like this is not more impressive than Doom 1 or Quake 1. I've played those games. This is not any more impressive than that.
Right.
Maybe it's bigger. Like I could argue, I could see if it was like, oh, maybe it's better like data management, because it is a larger, physically larger game. It's more levels, more guns, whatever. That's the only thing I can think of. Only thing. I also have. So we talked about this, and I had to look it up because I was like, I bet that there is this. Because famously I don't know if it's Doom 2 or Doom 3, there's a severed head of John Romero.
Right.
As like an Easter egg that you can find. That also exists in this.
Well, I'm glad I didn't find it.
On the first level of the dungeon, there is an Easter egg where you go through a destroyable wall that you can break with the ballista. Apparently is like the only weapon that can break it, and you do a bunch of bullshit and blah 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 blah, and then you find I'll send this picture to you, and I'll put it in the video version of this. It is a picture of John Romero like dressed up as a devil man.
Oh, great.
And when you walk up to it, it plays a reversed voice line that when played forward says, bow down or bow before the Lord of Darkness and drink from the well of Daddy's milk.
This just went down a point.
Was it the Daddy's milk that did it?
It was cringe enough without that, but Daddy's milk's pretty fucking bad. That's not great.
I don't necessarily mind people doing like Easter eggs of putting like the lead developer or whatever in the game. I think that can be done in a way that's fine. Yeah. When you put yourself in there as like a god king, and then
it's so pretentious,
and then tell your player base to drink your milk, like eat my dick and balls.
He calls everyone his bitch. He calls himself like the god. Drink Daddy's milk, and then this is the game he put out. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's really bad. Yeah, it's I don't care for it. That's really all I have in the way of trivia. Everything else is just like, hey, working on this game sucked shit. And a lot of people quit, and no one wanted to do it. And basically, this studio ended up falling apart like pretty quickly.
I felt bad because when you beat the game, you get the credits and accompanied by like pictures of each and every person involved, and I just kept thinking like, either they're proud of this or they didn't want their picture of this. It's one of the two, and I can't help but feel either pity or sadness for both of those.
Yeah, the silver lining is that a very small number of people played this game, and so it probably didn't matter ultimately either way.
But I'm one of them.
Yeah.
And I know you're out there, Kraken.
He's lurking in the deep.
You bitch.
Oh, you know what? I do have a couple of just like miscellaneous complaints that I would like to throw out there.
You go for it, please.
I think it's weird that you don't heal between levels. I think that's lame. If I'm traveling to a different time period, you can heal me.
At the very least, between the time periods, right?
Yeah, doesn't happen. We should also probably mention at one point, I think it's super weird that you can go into the settings and turn on unlimited saves. I think that is a weird thing to have.
Yes. Let's talk about the save gems.
Right, which I did not interact with like at all.
Mm-hmm. So you went into the settings,
as I do with pretty much every game. Is I will dig through the settings right at the front to be like, how can I adjust like the mouse sensitivity or the whatever. I need to get in here and make this game feel better. Yeah.
I got all the way to Alcatraz using those save gems.
That's rough, buddy.
You know, it wasn't that bad. I guess it was a little like annoying in the sense of like, I don't want to save until I find the next save gem type deal.
Yeah.
Like make sure you always have 3 just in case, and then you're like, oh, I'll use this one's in front of a boss for whatever. I was managing them okay. Like I wasn't stressed or anything. But then basically by the time that you were like, you can turn on unlimited saves, and then I did so,
Mhm.
I was like, this is much better.
Yeah, well, because you just saved
I was
before anything
I
that
was
seems like it might
saving.
be
I
annoying.
was especially considering that they start throwing like bullshit platforming at you in certain points,
Oh yeah,
like
for
climb up
sure.
this thing, jump over here. Now there's rocks and lava that you have to come, and it's not just that like you run real fast, whatever, but like there's also a weird slipperiness to this game. You slide sometimes.
Yeah, there were a couple of platforming sections where the thing that you're jumping onto is rounded, and the physics of it is just not good, and so you have to like be in constant motion because the second you stop moving, your character will just ass slide backwards into the lava or whatever.
And then the final level has that like jumping platforming puzzle where it's just like big like cylinders compress and like can crush you, or like the platforms are like
Oh
moving in
yeah,
circles.
yeah. I
And
did
then
save between every single one of those, but I never
yeah,
ended
yeah,
up really needing
absolutely.
it.
If I had been rocking save gems there, I probably would have been pretty salty.
Yeah. Also in the settings, there's a thing that says intensity, and you can change the value of it. And I truly have no idea what that is. I changed it to 4 for anyone who is listening to this who knows or cares what that means. I don't know what that setting does. I changed it a
If
couple
you
of times to try and figure it out. Couldn't figure it out.
if you had it set all the way at the max, you would have been able to really tell if you had found the John Romero God Idol statue, the girthiness of his penis.
Yeah, mayhaps. Maybe that's what it
Mhm.
is. It's a direct relation to
It's pretty
the yaw
intense.
of his dick.
Daddy's milk. What an
Um,
asshole.
yeah,
Fuck this guy.
famously an asshole. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, hey, that's Daikatana. Take it or leave it. Mostly leave it. I would recommend leave it. Skylar, using our patented review scoring system, how are you feeling about Daikatana?
This is interesting
Yeah.
because we're going 1 out of 10 here. I don't know where to place it in the sense that we're breaking new ground, and I need to basically set the badness ceiling here because there's definitely worse out there. This is not a
Yeah.
1 on our scale.
No, this is a game that is completable. So it's
Yeah,
I feel like
I,
a 1
I
or a
did.
2 would have to be a game that is fundamentally broken.
Well, I agree with you on 1. I disagree with you on 2. I'm leaning towards 2 here.
Okay.
I originally wrote down 3. Three is listed as awful,
Right.
and I'd say this is fairly awful. But it was also reached painfulness in the sense of how broken it was for me. Now, you clearly had an easier experience with the
Yeah,
canyons
I didn't run into those
and
problems.
whatever, but I didn't. So I think I'm leaning towards it too.
That's fair. Yeah. I can see that. Based on the experience you had with it, I don't think that that's really off brand at all.
Mhm.
Um I was sort of going between 3 and 4
Yeah.
because it is bad, but I don't think it's like terrible. Like I played through it and I didn't run into too many issues. There was that one part where it crashed, but like I don't know, it only crashed a couple of times. So which that's enough to drop it down to at least a 4. But it we are going to play worse games. I guarantee it at some point.
Yeah, definitely. But
Um,
like that doesn't make this any better. Like just
no,
because like
no,
Superman 64
yeah,
is unplayable.
yeah,
Like yeah, this was playable, but like to what point? I think it failed on every level. Like it's just it's not good at all.
it's
And
definitely not good. Yeah,
it's not just like, oh, this is a game I didn't like.
no,
It failed to bring any enjoyment to me whatsoever.
a game I
It
didn't
made me
like.
look back on Medieval 2 with like much
Yeah,
more praise.
a game I just didn't like would probably be like a 5 or a 6. As long as it
Mhm,
was like still a competent game, at least, you know.
mhm.
For me, I think I am. I think I'm gonna end up giving this a 4 because this is a bad game. I think this is bad. I it is functional from start to finish. It is. You can look at it and be like, I understand what this game is. I think the mechanics of it, for the most part, work fine. The shooting is okay. The platforming is rough but doable. There was no part of it. There was no part of this game other than maybe the Medusa fight where I was like, this is just bullshit and I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like not in terms of like I'm lost, but in terms of like I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this.
Yeah.
That was
I'll
the
say
one part of the game where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna
combat wise, I
be
never
done.
had any trouble.
No,
Sure.
it was fine. Um, and it was relatively short. I think, I didn't really have, other than being generally bored for like the entire runtime, I didn't have that many complaints about it. I don't think it does anything well. I think it is a bad game. But there was no part of it where I was like, this is aggressively offensive and should be like put in the hall of like next to fucking ET or whatever. I was just like, this is a game that is lost to time, and it should continue to be lost to time. And I think that that's like a 4.
This isn't on the level of your famous ones like ET or Superman 64 or horrible like broken awful messes like that.
Biker one? Yeah.
But it's right outside the house.
It's real bad
for me.
For sure. And you definitely had a much worse time with it than I did. So
I sure did.
I get it. So I think I'm going to give it a 4. You're giving it a 2. So that would make our aggregate score a 3, which labels it as awful. And I think that is accurate.
Definitively calling this an awful game.
Yeah. So I think that's correct. I think that's about right. Because I think I got remarkably lucky, it sounds like, with how the game panned out for me. And I think you might have gotten remarkably dicked. So
I think I got the true experience.
I think that you are very unlucky. I think it got like especially bad for you.
I think I played Daikatana.
Unfortunately, we both did. I would have preferred to have not.
I'm not convinced you did.
I would have preferred to have not, to be honest. I would have been just as happy skipping to the next game and never having touched this.
Well, I am already playing the next game, and it's definitely gonna get a better score than this.
Yeah, it'll be higher than a 3. I won't spoil what it is. It'll definitely be higher than a 3. But hey, guys, if you played Daikatana or have been convinced by us to never play Daikatana, you can tell us all about it in the comments down below on Spotify and YouTube. Those are the 2 places we are. Please hit subscribe. Please like. Please share it with a friend. Do all of those things. You know the things that the content creators want you to do, and hey, we want you to do those things too. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
And until next time, everybody, play more games.
Play less games. Play this game.
Play more games that are not Daikatana.
Yeah.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip.